First rule of building an AK-47 is to always paint it the same color as your bed sheets. I'm just messing around. I just realized that when I got my gun out to make this video, that it is perfectly matched to my bed sheets. So, I want to talk a bit about how I have updated my AK-47 setup since the last video, in which my AK-47 sucked greatly. So before, I had this kind of spray painted stupid, it basically looked black, it wasn't really much different, didn't turn out the way I wanted it to. I had a Kalinka side mount, which is a real heavy duty Russian, I think, mount that had an EOTech 512 that also sucked. Since then, I removed the EOTech, removed the Kalinka mount, back to iron sights, which I think is the way to go on an AK. There's just not a lot of great options for mounting optics, and it's just not necessary for what the gun is intended for. It's really a 100-yard gun. You can probably hit out to 200 if you had to with irons, so I really don't see a reason to go red dot or anything like that unless you just want to look cool. This is wearing a Flat Dark Earth and Coyote two-tone Duracoat paint job. One thing I learned on my AK very quickly is to definitely use the Durheat high temp ceramic coating on your barrels. It will melt off, especially if you're using a slide fire stock or something like that. Also, if you're using a slide fire stock, the AK-74, I mean, get a muzzle brake, but I love this AK-74 style brake. It just works. I mean, the muzzle rise on this when you're in automatic alternative fire is minimal, if even present. I mean, it's real nice. One thing I learned with my AK setup is weight is paramount. This quad rail system I have on here is aluminum. It weighs, I think, 8 or 9 ounces. It's Legion arms. It's just the cheapo clamp down one. I believe it clamps to the barrel, and then the top part clamps to the bottom part, so it's not actually clamping to the gas tube at all. It's very lightweight. I would say it weighs probably similar to the wood handguard, so you're really not adding a lot of weight with this. This cheap polymer foldable foregrip. Insert pretty much any lightweight foregrip. It's nothing special. I don't do this with it at all. I don't run it vertical. It works awesome horizontal. I love a folded horizontal kind of pod to grab. It works way better. It puts my hand in a natural position to activate my weapon light there. That has a little push button on the back. And this is the UTG ELP LED. It's probably not the best choice. I think the mount is kind of heavy. The light itself is actually pretty good and lightweight. The mount, I think, is a little heavy, so room for improvement there, but I like what I got going. Other than that, the only thing I have on here is the slide fire stock on the back, the AK variant, and after some pretty extensive shooting with it, the slide fire, I believe, is very controllable. In its fixed position, it doesn't have a whole lot of wiggle. It's pretty much locked right there, so that's pretty good. Not too bad there. So I have equipped my carbine style AK in ARs with slide fire stocks, and I use them exclusively on them. They have a pretty good length of pull, so I don't see the need for a extended collapsible setup back here. They're pretty short. I mean, if you're into the short length of pull for your butt stocks, you'll like them. Other than that, weight, like I said, weight is paramount. This gun, as it is equipped, even with the quad rails and all this stuff, it's actually not that much stuff compared to what was on here before. This gun is at 7.5 pounds, so it's very doable. I don't have an exact scale measurement, but it's in the 7 pounds for sure. I think it's even a little lighter than my AR. All my AR has on it, which I'll do a video on, is some Magpul furniture, really. So it's very lightweight. I think I could save some weight on the flashlight mount if I got something more lightweight. And this is actually pretty heavy, the AK-74 brake. So I think I could do better, and maybe just one of those, like I forget what they're called, the ones that are just like a normal the normal threaded nut that's on the end, but you know what I'm talking about, the angle cut brake that just throws the blast up. Those are probably lighter. Other than that, this is about as lightweight as it gets. Moral of the story for me, it took me a while to learn, but keep your stuff light. After you get out and strap this thing to you and start running around with it. You don't want a heavy mount and a weapon sight on top of your AK, as well as the fact that your cheek weld can't happen on an AK. It's going to be way up here, your buttstock's way down here, and it just doesn't work out on an AK. So if you want to run optics, do an AR setup.